known by its map designation as Area 51.
We're now learning Area 51,
known as Area 51.
Thank you for
Near
clearing
Area
that up.
51.
Thank you.
Known as Area 51.
Because Area 51 is very important.
They called him Jimmy, and everybody wanted to be his friend.
What's good? What's good? Welcome here, Area 51, here with your host Jimmy. Another day in the jungle. Give us a like, subscribe, and also, drop a comment below if you like the content that we see, and share and check our website, goldeneraboxing.com, for all those who like more history about boxing and other things related with the sport of boxing. So, today I want to talk about Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. And I want to talk about this fight when it comes down technically how this fight will end up. So far, a lot of my predictions have come true. There have been a few fights that I've missed. I missed the mark. But, they were actually interesting fights where the other fighter was doing well. But these things happen in boxing. I don't have the best prediction rate, and neither do you. So remember that if you come here judging. But I'll put it this way. This is a fight that I wanted to see for a long time because I felt that Canelo Alvarez didn't want to take this fight. And when a fighter doesn't want to take certain fights, it puts them in a position where you can see that they're intimidated. And when Canelo Alvarez speaks about David Benavidez, he feels intimidated, right? So that makes a difference in this fight. Now, a lot of people are making conclusions already saying, okay, David Benavidez beat Caleb Plant, but he couldn't knock him out, right? So the excuse is he couldn't knock him out, okay? Now, it's interesting how that pans out because Caleb Plant's strategy to come on over and try to beat David Benavidez, and he did a good job the first 6 rounds. I think he established his jab, he tried to move, and he was definitely holding and using the clinch a lot, right? But that clinch saved him from not getting destroyed in the 7th or 6th round when Kenny Bayless interfered with the fight a few times. So it wasn't just the clinch that Caleb was using, it was also Kenny Bayless, who was literally like stopping the fight in situations where David was about to crack Caleb Plant, because Caleb Plant was getting he was literally using the clinch, and David was already opening the clinch as he was holding him and breaking him down, just doing some shit that Lou Ambers used to do with fighters like Pedro Montañez back in the day. Okay, he's an expert, Lou Ambers, in doing that sort of fight. So that's what Caleb Plant had to do in order to survive the fight. And not only that, but Caleb Plant had to move a lot, right? Caleb Plant has to have legs to move around in order for him to not get caught. Why? Because the problem with David Benavidez, I explained in my prediction, is that David Benavidez is not just a regular volume puncher, okay? He's a fighter who actually knows how to use his length, and that makes a big difference. You see, a lot of the fighters, especially pressure fighters or volume punchers, when they have short hands, you can kind of get away if you step back, step in the left and the right. You can get away because his length is not going to cover that distance as you're stepping back, or the right or the left. With David, you can't do that. With David, he has extension. He has long arms. So if you're trying to move away from that punch, you're going to get caught. Why? Because David can cut that distance quicker than you can move backwards or in the sides. And that's what makes David special, right? It's not necessarily because his style of boxing or his boxing skills are super good, but it's because he has that natural power, and he has that extension and that quickness of hands that makes him dangerous. And Caleb knows that. So the reason why Caleb survived this fight was the reason that he was clinching, right? When he was with Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, he wasn't clinching as much. That wasn't his strategy because he was the bigger guy. But with David, you have to clinch him to stop him. Okay, that's what you got to do to stop his flow, because once he starts throwing those combinations of hands, he's going to start with the jab, he's going to throw to the body, and he's going to start throwing a flurry of punches once he sees some weakness. And he's an accurate fighter. He's an accurate puncher. He's actually a very accurate puncher, David, which makes it even more difficult. Okay? Now here's the deal. Here's the issue. Canelo Alvarez, he doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the height of Caleb Plant. He moves well with his torso. He knows how to move, you know. He knows how to dip punches. But he's a very, very, very fixed. When it comes down to the ring, his leg movement is not that good, okay? And you need to have a good leg movement to get away from those shots. So, and you kind of have to have that length too with Benavidez, because Benavidez is a big dude. Canelo Alvarez don't got that. If Canelo Alvarez gets in an exchange with David Benavidez, he's going to get fucked up, because David can throw his shots from the middle. So the middle portion of like in the middle side, like you can fight short, you can fight middle, and you can fight long, right? David can fight long, middle, and short. Canelo Alvarez can only do short and medium, because he doesn't have the extension to fight long, right? Because you don't have that, you don't have the length. So what's going to happen is that David can throw from the middle distance and throw really hard shots because of his hand length, and still hurt Canelo, versus Canelo has to move in. He has to step forward and throw those shots. And he's going to get fucked, Canelo, in this fight. David Benavidez is going to throw. He's going to grab him too. I guarantee his father will tell him to grab him too. And he's going to put his weight inside of Canelo Alvarez, which is little by little going to actually make him tired. Okay, that's what he's going to do. Anytime that Caleb Plant was trying to hold on David, in some parts of the fight, he was actually putting his weight on Caleb. He's not stupid. So Canelo is going to have to, hold David Benavidez, but David being the bigger guy, David is going to put his weight on him, and he's going to tire Canelo. Even if David wasn't trying to tire him, he's going to tire Canelo because he's the bigger dude. So the issue that people don't understand is that they're looking at the Caleb Plant fight with Canelo Alvarez, but Caleb wasn't as paranoid with Canelo as he was with David. That's why he was holding. You hold because you don't want to get caught. You don't want to get hurt, right? But if you think that David Benavidez cannot withhold the punching power of Canelo Alvarez, you're crazy. Because I'll tell you one thing right now. David Benavidez, as I told you before, was going through those punches of Caleb Plant like it was nothing. You saw what Caleb Plant did to Uzcategui, right? He hurt him. What he did to Anthony Durrell, knocked him out. It tickled Benavidez. It tickled him. All right? Why? Because David Benavidez has done sparring since a young age with people who are much bigger than him, much taller than him, and powerful. So he's already experienced what power is, and he's not going to be intimidated by a fighter like Canelo Alvarez, who really doesn't have cruiserweight power. I mean, he doesn't have that sort of power that Davis can take. At most, Canelo Alvarez has, power of a 168 pounder. That's what he has. And if you're looking at that fight with Kovalev, he had to dehydrate him to beat him. And Kovalev, you look at that fight and look at the fight with Underwood and Kovalev, two different fights. It almost looks like Kovalev wasn't even trying, bro. I mean, you can say what you want. Look at both fights. Come back at me later. Tell me I was right. Not only that, but Canelo Alvarez, he couldn't even put down an old Triple G going up from 160 to 168. He couldn't even do that. And you're telling me that he is going to destroy or beat David Benavidez? You lost your mind. It's not going to happen. David is going to go there. He's going to hold through his combinations and his power. And he's going to be in real shit. Canelo Alvarez. He's going to be pooping himself. because David is just too it's just too powerful, that division. There's only one fighter there who could beat David Benavidez, and that's Dave Morrell Jr. That's the only fighter that can beat David Benavidez. That David Morrell is really dangerous, and Canelo won't fight him either. Who has a better chance to beating David Benavidez is not Canelo Alvarez, it's Demetrius Andrade. Because Demetrius Andrade does know how to move, and he is more skillful, in my opinion, than Caleb Plant. People say, well, Caleb Plant, what is Demetrius Andrade? Well, what has Caleb Plant done? What, lose against Canelo? Anthony Durrell was in his... I mean, Anthony Durrell was in his way out. I mean, this is what you got? That's what makes Caleb Plant so... He beat Uskategi? I mean, Uskategi, I mean, he got a world championship, but... So he only had one world championship. Caleb Plant. Demetrius Andrade had already 3 world championships in 2 different divisions. So even in accomplishments, Andrade is more accomplished. If you're looking at straps. Right? So there is nothing there, in my opinion. There is nothing there that Canelo Alvarez can do against David Benavidez. In this fight, Canelo Alvarez knows that he's going to get damaged. And he doesn't want that sort of fight because he normally picks his fighters. He normally uses rehydration clause. Okay, you're on your way out. Let me get that fighter. Oh, really? Yeah, you're unknown. WBC, would you give me this fight over this other fight? That's the type of shit he does. But now he has David as a mandatory. And David should tell the WBC that he really wants this fight. He should really tell the WBC that he wants that fight. Why? So he exposes Canelo Alvarez and seeing the duck that he is. And Canelo knows that he's going to lose that fight. That's why he's not taking it. And some people are saying, well, Dimitri, bro, with his power, Dimitri Bivol is a 168. That is a 168, 175 fighter. He's like, he can be between 175 and 168. He couldn't even hurt Bivol, bro. He couldn't even hurt Bivol. And David Benavidez is a big dude. David Benavidez used to spar with Bivol. He used to spar with Osudo Ramirez. And what did both say about David? Oh, he can punch. He can crack. He's good. He's a good fighter. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of fanboys of Canelo Alvarez who don't want to take this fight, who are afraid that their fraud is going to lose. And that's what's going to happen. He's going to lose. He's going to lose that fight. Guaranteed. Even if Canelo Alvarez has more skills than David Benavidez, which I think he can move his head better. That's my opinion. I think Canelo Alvarez can move his torso and his body. He can move it well. He's still too fixed. And while he's moving and doing all these moves, David, being the taller fighter, is going to snatch him out of combinations and firepower, and it's going to be the end. And also another thing that Canelo doesn't like is the jab. And if David starts to throw the long jab, kind of like Fundora has been doing with all the other fighters at 154, when he throws the jab, it makes it very complicated because he's a long fighter. So even if Canelo goes inside, he's going to still get cracked. It's not going to matter. What do you think, that Canelo's going to throw a body shot at David Benavidez? Is going to put him down? Fuck no. It ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen because Canelo's going to be protecting himself at all costs. I've seen this shit before. I've seen these sort of fights before. Canelo is losing that fight. He knows it, and he's going to get his shit pushed in. That's what's going to happen in this fight. He don't want the fight. He's a coward. He's never wanted David Benavidez. I'm here to expose this guy because he is a fraud. So anyway, that's how I'm going to leave it. Give us a like here, subscribe, and also, check our webpage, goldenairboxing.com, for more news stories. Welcome to the jungle, and, to the next video. Peace out.